Well, good evening, everyone, and bowling fans across the country. I can't tell you how much we appreciate your time. And our guest tonight really needs no introduction, Mr. Parker Bohn III. He's one of the nicest guys I've ever had the great luxury of meeting and bowling out on the, well, I guess we'll say out on tour. It was a regional event. So, Parker, welcome to the program tonight.
Well, thanks, Jay. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we're going to kind of just jump right in, is there's so much to cover. As we've had our other guests on the show, there's no way that within our 30 minutes tonight that we can really cover all the things that you have accomplished in your career and really tell your story. So we're going to start kind of from a high level, and hopefully in the future you'll be willing to come back and join us for more as we try to dive down deeper. So if you don't mind, we're just going to jump right in and kind of go through some of your career accomplishments, and then we're going to kind of come back a little bit. So, I mean, I could put out 10 slides and not really get them all in. So, you know, here of these, kind of share with us, of all the things that you have accomplished, what are just, say, 2 or 3 that really stand out to you as the things, say, you're the most proud of?
Well, I think when I first went out on tour, the dream was to win eventually a PBA national title. And one would have made all the difference in the world. And after I accomplished that, then figuring out a way to win again, and hopefully sometime during my career, standing up tall and garnishing PBA Player of the Year. To me, that is the pinnacle of a lot of the things that you can accomplish out on tour. And the biggest or the ultimate pinnacle of all is getting inducted into the PBA Hall of Fame. You don't plan for that one. That one just gets acquired over a period of time.
Well, yeah, all the things that you set out obviously have been checkmarked. Let me ask you from a player's perspective, you know, there's a mindset that a person has to learn, or I guess some have it, some don't, and maybe it's something you can acquire. What is the mindset to get you over the hump from finishing second to winning? Is that a killer mentality? I mean, what is it that flips? Kind of walk us through that.
You know, it's funny you say that. My first TV show I made was after I was out on tour 2 full years. The start of my 3rd season was in Peoria, Illinois, and I qualified for the TV show. And my first game on national TV, believe it or not, I shot 245, and it was good enough for a tie against Pete McCordick. I won the roll-off, 2-frame roll-off back then, and bowled John Gant for the title and lost. And when I say this, things didn't go my way then, but the reporter asked me if I was upset, and I told him, as much as I'm upset, I'm a firm believer. If I've gotten here once, I will get there again. And that's exactly what happened. 3 months later, I found myself leading the PBA tournament, going into the TV show, ultimately bowling Scott Devers for the title and winning my first PBA national title.
So when you walk in, you know, one of the things that we were always told and taught is when you walk into any kind of event that you're in. So I guess I'd like to pick your brain and see if this is kind of how a person like you thinks. What we were told is when you walk into a tournament, you kind of look around and find out who's going to finish second. You know, it's not. You try not to display things in a fashion of arrogance, but a fashion of internal confidence. So, I mean, is that kind of how you've been taught? And I guess, is that what works for you, or is there something different?
Well, I tell a lot of people when I'm giving lessons back at home, trust me, lessons are from young to old. But more importantly, for the youth and that energetic bowler that wants to get better, I tell them this: you can practice all you want, you work hard at your game, try to make it as good as you possibly can. But the most important thing, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody in the back is going to believe in you.
So there's a fine line between, you know, confidence and arrogance, right?
Exactly. Yes, there certainly is.
So
No
it
question
is
about it.
it.
I've never been the one to throw it at somebody. Okay. I let my ball do the talking. But I can tell you right now, when I'm lined up and I know that I've got control of the pocket, now it's up to me to repeat. I've always fully believed in myself that I can repeat shots as good as anybody out on the planet. And if I repeat shots and I've got pocket control, you as my opponent, you're in trouble.
That's kind of what I wanted to find out, and I really appreciate you sharing that because there's a lot of really nice guys, and it's okay. I mean, it's obviously it's a gentleman's sport. You want your competitor to do well because you want to beat them at their top. You don't want someone to have a tough day and then you win. That doesn't really show anything for you. I mean, the one thing that stands out to me the most of your career, of your sportsmanship, is the 10 pin that Bob Learn got a mulligan on. If you remember that, obviously you do, and
Yes,
you
I
were a
do.
strong supporter of him getting that, even though it cost you.
Well, at the time, it was something very, very new that we had on the PBA tour. We did not have people sitting beyond the foul line. It was something that we were never accustomed to. And I'm going to go right behind that. Neither did the PBA. They weren't accustomed to that neither. But the energy level that was in the facility and everything that was going on, and the unfortunate thing that happened to Bob at that moment in time, I just happened to have a perfect eyeball view of what had happened. And the lady that got up from her seat in the middle of Bob's approach, I know that she didn't have any ill will or any ill feelings towards. She didn't do it intentional. It just happened that way. So seeing what had happened, knowing what had happened, it was the right thing to do, as any bona fide bowler would want. I want to win fair and square. I don't want to win because of some mishap like that. And little did either one of us know that the story would unfold and take place the way that it did. With me striking out, sitting on the bench with 279, and then Bob getting up and throwing all three in the 10th for 280 to win. And at that point, as a competitor, all I have to do is stand up and shake his hand and say, great bowling, good luck the next game.
Bob's going to be on the show next week, actually. So stay with us, folks. We're going to take a quick break here from our sponsors. And we come back, we're going to learn more about Parker Bohn's style, his form. And again, we're going to pick more of his brain to learn more about his career. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
At Gateway Building Systems, we provide unmatched service to all of our customers. Butler Builder understands this. We combine creative design capabilities with superior workmanship to deliver optimal building solutions. Our team provides insight that takes you from the ground up to build your future. Gateway Building Systems and Butler Buildings are designed for strength, durability, and longevity. We are here to build your project and maintain it for the next generation.
Experience the homegrown goodness of Cass Clay Country, where life is made sweeter and healthier. For over 85 years, we've been crafting delicious dairy products from local farms for local families. Our recipes only use the freshest ingredients, from milk and butter to ice cream, sour cream, and cottage cheese. You can rely on us for superior quality and taste that your parents and grandparents will even recognize. It's a difference you can taste. Cass Clay, homegrown, pure goodness.
Welcome back to more Difference Makers here on BEK TV Plus. I'm your host, Jay Fettig, and with me tonight I have the great Mr. Parker Bohn III. Welcome back, Parker.
Well, thanks, Jay. Appreciate it.
I remember seeing something somewhere where one of the most things, I guess let's say it this way, one of the things you're the most proud of, and we've got a clip of it and I'll put it out here in a second, is how you've been with one company your entire career. So let's roll that clip and then I want to get your thoughts on it.
All right.
I proudly can stand up and say that I'm the only one that's won more than 20 titles with all one branded bowling ball. Every one of my national tour titles has come with a Brunswick branded bowling ball.
Share that with us. Give us your thoughts on that.
Well, I mean, back in the day, and I'm going to go the late 80s, when I first went out on tour, I was fortunate to win a title, my first title in '87. And then it was a year and a half later that Brunswick came to me and offered me a contract. It was actually Johnny Petraglia that offered me that contract to be with Brunswick. And keep in mind, I was offered another contract within that 24-hour period, give or take. I don't know who was first or who was second. But the other gentleman that offered me the contract was none other than the late, great Dick Weber and AMF. And I had to make a decision. And my decision ultimately was going to be wherever I go, I have to tell someone no. Well, I decided to go with Brunswick. I felt like Brunswick was an innovator at the time. I felt like they were always trying to make bowling better, not just with bowling balls, but endless supplies that are behind the scenes that make every bowling center, let me say, glory and glamorous and bigger than what it is today. So therefore, starting January of '89, I was on the Brunswick Pro staff. And I knock on wood when I say this because I am one of the few fortunate players that has won every one of my PBA national titles with a Brunswick branded bowling ball.
Well, I am wearing proudly my Hammer shirt. Yeah, I'm a regional guy for them, and my partner in crime, Mr. Marshall Kent, obviously has moved over to Hammer as well. So we're proud. You can see the Brunswick banners behind us as well.
Absolutely.
So the tour started this week, and boy, I tell you what, they're torching that pattern, and it's the cheetah pattern. So, and I know it's something you're quite familiar with. In fact, I went out into the archives and I pulled out a clip of you throwing a 300 on the cheetah pattern. So does this look familiar to you?
Yeah, throwing it out near the gutter there, let it ride the rail and let it hook all the way back. And it's not a bad thing. Trust is a must, especially if you're playing out near the gutter. And well, God knows throughout my career, I'm not afraid to throw it out on the lip.
No, you are a down and in guy. I've got to watch you play, I think 3 or 4 times where you've been within a few lanes, and man, it's poetry in motion, as they say. That down. Hey, whatever works. If it ain't broke, don't break it. So, anyway, one thing I wanted to talk about too is you have an unmistakable style. Anybody that, it's almost like the Jerry West logo, right? And the deep knee bend, the strong trail leg, the high follow through. It is, you could make that a silhouette and people would instantly say, in bowling, that's Parker Bohn. I mean, have you always, I would imagine over the years that I've seen you bowl, it's always been that way.
Well, I'll tell you what, growing up as a kid, I was probably Sloppy Joe at the foul line. I was all over the place. And the summer I turned 17, it was my mom who asked Dave Davis. She sought out Dave Davis and his wife, Joanne, and asked them to actually help me. And when they helped me, one of the main things that they got on top of was the fact that I needed to have stability and balance at the foul line. The knee bend, I think I had the knee bend, as a kid growing up. But when you're all over the place, you're really not sure which way is up. Well, for that matter, if you're laying on the floor, you're looking at the ceiling. But fortunately, things came out really, really well. And I've acquired and kept that knee bend the whole way through. But when I bring that trail leg around and it hits the floor, I feel like right then and there, I am rock solid at the foul line. Now I can make the best pass possible. And I have nobody to blame but myself if it doesn't turn out right.
You look at the image that we have up, and athleticism, it doesn't matter the sport you are in. If you don't maintain balance and center of gravity, you have nothing. And I don't care what sport you are in. The fact, what we just saw is, it's true athletic talent. Again, I don't care the sport. So it's just, honestly, it's just fun to watch. I wish my game could do that. When you have a deep knee bend like you, that takes strength too. Speaking of that, do you do, physical exercises? Do you run? What do you do to keep your body in shape?
Well, growing up as a kid, I was in track and field. I played a couple of different sports. Nothing had the stardom, if you want to say that bowling turned out to be. But I felt like I always had good leg strength to do the things that I wanted to do. And I can tell you, when I first learned the proper way how to bowl, oh, there were many a times practicing on the lanes that my thigh would burn at the end of a given day. And that just told me at that point that I was getting stronger and stronger. You know, my knee bend now is probably not what it was when I was 20 or 25, but I can tell you, when I get to the foul line, I still want to make sure that I get down into the shot as good as I possibly can, and therefore post it, getting through the ball every single time.
You know, you mentioned that it's probably not like it was back in the day. I would imagine if a person overlaid, you know, your technique today versus what it was, say, in the early 90s, it'd be hard pressed to find much difference, to be honest. I mean, and that's a testament to your physical ability, your athleticism. I mean, it's just overall, just your total, we'll just say athleticism. I try to keep thinking of different words, you know, but do you do anything outside of bowling to keep your body in shape?
Well, I never stop when I'm home. I'm constantly working on something, whether it's out in the yard or for that matter, at the lanes itself. You know, I could be jumping up and down, having some fun with my own kids, or let me say, raking leaves and taking care of your yard work. But more importantly, trying to take care of my body and make sure that I can maintain having all of that weight on that right leg at the foul line really goes a long, long way.
Yeah, absolutely, you can tell. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to hear from our sponsors, and we come back, we're going to hear more of Parker's passions, from the youth bowling to dealing with our veterans. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Relationships founded on trust. That's how Lux Wealth Advisors was established, and it continues to be paramount in everything we do. Our professionals are here to make building wealth simple and straightforward for anyone. Whether you're just starting out, nearing retirement, or you're someplace in between, we'll take the time to accurately assess your current financial state, then design a tailored plan to help you achieve your long-term goals. Lux Wealth Advisors, the right answers for financial independence.
Mandan Sporting Goods' new location means new inventory and even greater commitment to supporting your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're wanting personal defense weapons, collectibles, or simply the area's largest selection of ammo, reloading supplies, and new line of fishing equipment, the team at Mandan Sporting Goods will help you find what you need. 206 4th Avenue Northwest.
Well, we want to welcome you all back to More Difference Makers. We are joined with the great Mr. Parker Bohn III. Welcome back, Parker. Thank you again for joining us.
Certainly a pleasure. Looking forward to it.
So there are two things that I know really mean a lot to you outside of your own career and your family, and that is giving back to the sport that has given you so much. And one of those is your dedication to youth bowling. Real quick, before we get into that, I want to show you something that we believe to grow the sport, you got to add some entertainment. So we televise youth tournaments. And I'd be interested to get your take on this. It's something you maybe have not seen. So we're going to roll a quick clip of a youth tournament that we have recently televised. Go ahead.
This is all about Xander Heathcote. He passed away 2.5 years ago in a bike accident. And we are celebrating his life once again and raising money for scholarship funds. All right, Isaac Whitcomb, 13-year-old from Del Rapids. A strike to start us off for Isaac. Strike, spare in the last two frames for Aiden Danielson. How about another strike? Heenan will be the Bowling for Xander champion in the 18 and under. What a weekend he had, and what a day he had. Averaging well over 250 in the step ladder.
Yeah, so we do tournaments like that. That event, we worked with a group that had raised over $20,000, that particular event, for scholarship. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to make bowling cool. You know, put it on par with the footballs, the basketballs, so those other type of athletes, you know, get to see these younger bowling athletes get some spotlight. So what's your take on that? We'd love to get your opinion.
I think it's great. You know, those bowlers that are out there, they deserve to be on that same pedestal as all the other athletes, especially in their age group. All right. When you watch them out there and they're on their local TV or local internet show or program, whatever it may be, they've worked hard at their craft, and the bowlers certainly have too. So the fact that you put them out there, hats off to you, but congratulations to all of those youth bowlers who have an opportunity to participate in that, because what they're doing there locally is certainly exactly what not just us back here in New Jersey try to do, but throughout the country, for that matter, throughout parts of the world. It's cool.
Yeah, and I want to give hats off to our partners here at BEK TV Plus. We've been able, we can televise events like that all over the country. So if you know anybody, to the audience out here, if you know anybody that has an event like this that they would like to televise for the youth, feel free to reach out to us. That's how we want to grow the sport. The Bowl for Life Foundation with Chuck and Deb, again, is another thing that gives a lot back to the youth. Tell us your involvement and how you may, how other people can get involved to help them as well.
Well, Chuck and Deb Gardner, they really are the foundation behind Bowl for Life. And everything that they bring in monetarily wise goes out in the form of scholarship dollars. And youth bowlers of all ages, regardless of how you throw it or what you average, have an opportunity to put their hand in and grab a piece of that pie. And it's really, really cool when you think about that. So I've heard some junior bowlers that literally go out there and they shoot the scores. They shoot the big games. And obviously they get rewarded for it in some sort of scholarship money. But like our tournament, we actually have kids that are drawn out of a hat. One boy, one girl, once again, regardless of age, and we give out scholarship money. And Chuck and Deb, through Bowl for Life, have kids that write in essays. So now you take a youth bowler who averages between 100 and 150, regardless of age, and they write the proper essay, spit that one out. They get the proper essay going forthright, and you find out that their merit behind that gives them scholarship money, which enhances them going to college. That there, I got a round of applause, because I think that's completely awesome.
Yeah, it is. It is. Now, you have a local, really big fan here in North Dakota. 11-year-old Owen Schwer. Yes, you do. A very big fan. Owen Schwer, 11-year-old from Castleton, North Dakota. He recently shot his high score in his high series, and his folks reached out and said, I know Parker's going to be on. Is there any way you can put this on, or at least let him know about it? So here we got Owen throwing his Black Widow 2.0, by the way. Even though he's got a Storm shirt on. So there he is. Him and I were bowling a partners match, but the Storm shirt was all I had sitting there, so no offense to Storm. But anyway, here he's throwing a strike, and then we've got another clip of him pointing up to his all-time high score in high series. There it is. Mr. Owen, there's your shout-out, buddy.
That's
there
really,
he is.
really cool. That's for sure. Owen, you deserve a round of applause, too. Congratulations to you. Keep it up out there. Keep them high scores coming. And you know what? Soon, maybe I'll see you on the PBA Tour.
Wouldn't that be something special? So, Owen, love you, kiddo. There's your shout out. Keep bowling. Now your friends see how bowling can get you on TV. So we're going to wrap that up for tonight. Parker, again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for being on our program. We hope to have you on many times in the future, because we want to drill down into your career more. We want to get your thoughts on today's, two-handed bowling, which I want to talk to your kids and get their thoughts. It's just, there's so much we want to pick your brain on. So thank you again, Parker. Your time is invaluable. it means the world to us.
Jay, I certainly appreciate it. I'll look forward to the next time.
Hey, we'll see you hopefully here in a couple of weeks out in New Jersey. So with that, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you again. We'll be back after these messages.
Hi, I'm Katie with First Community Credit Union, and we're here with Angry Beaver Tree Services in Devil's Lake. What do you love about FCCU?
I would say it's an organization that's willing to go above and beyond to take care of the community needs. People are very friendly to work with, and they're always willing to go the extra mile to ensure that what I need is being taken care of. I love the friendly people, and like I said, I can walk in there and talk about getting a loan, and they're always willing to sit down and work with you right away. I mean, the process is fast, people are friendly, and it just doesn't get any better than that.
Are you looking for something special or one of a kind? At Bassett Motors, we can help you find exactly what you want.
Come on in and experience how small town hospitality and personal service can make car buying a pleasure.
We know interest rates are important to you. We have multiple lenders to negotiate your lowest payment.
Visit us on Highway 281 in Carrington, North Dakota, and online at BassettMotors.com. Bassett Motors, where our customers send their friends.
Welcome to the world of exceptional care and well-being. At Chubby Health, we believe in nurturing your body and mind and maximizing your potential. Trust our dedicated chiropractic team and the expertise of our skilled physical therapist. Embrace the future of rehab with stem wave therapy. Restore your body's natural energy flow with acupuncture and discover the power of nutrition with our expert doctors. And don't forget our specialized prenatal and pediatric care services. Put your health in good hands with Chubby Health.
At Gateway Building Systems, we provide unmatched service to all of our customers. Butler Builder understands this. We combine creative design capabilities with superior workmanship to deliver optimal building solutions. Our team provides insight that takes you from the ground up to build your future. Gateway Building Systems and Butler Buildings are designed for strength, durability, and longevity. We are here to build your project and maintain it for the next generation.
Well, that's going to conclude tonight's episode of Difference Makers. We want to again thank our guest, Mr. Parker Bohn III. We also want to be sure to thank our sponsors. We want to thank Hammer and Brunswick. We want to thank IM Bowling, Kenny and Kathy. We want to thank Turbo, Farmers Union Insurance, and again, the X League. Those are our corporate partners, and they mean a lot. I want to ask our viewers and guests to please send your thoughts and prayers out to Kenny and Kathy Keegan at IM. I can't get into why, but just keep them in your thoughts and prayers. We will see you next week on more Difference Makers as we bring in Mr. Bob Learn. So thank you again. We'll see you next week.